Good morning, everybody.
We're Steve and Audra, and we travel full-time in our self-converted Ford Transit camper van with our cat, and we try to do things on a low budget, trying to see all we can in nature, looking for wildlife and pretty scenery. Today we're taking you with us through the Rocky Mountains to share some amazing views and lots of excitement in the middle of elk rutting season.
Wow.
I'll say. We hope you enjoy the adventure. You can finally see all the snowy caps and bigger mountains.
Wow. This is amazing, folks. If you ever get the opportunity, take it.
Yeah. Now that right there is amazing.
Special thanks to Dennis and Ruth for giving us National Parks Pass. It's the first time we're using that. Great way to break in that pass. So what do you think, everybody? Is this a nice spot to pull off and have a little bit of breakfast? We think so.
Uh-oh. Barbecue sauce. I don't want that on my cereal. You can tell we're at a high elevation.
Everything's been pressurized.
Yeah, for real.
Some of these spots, I feel like I could just stay here all day.
Sure is pretty. It's pretty wild up here. You can see where we started at the bottom. And you can also see where we drove up.
All right, I wouldn't normally film such a thing, but you gotta wonder what led to this sign. Sit on the toilet during use. Do not stand on the toilet. Do not use the floor. Use the toilet. Doesn't it make you wonder how we got to this point in society?
This is a pretty incredible drive. I'd say we probably both agree that one of the perks of this park is that we can take our time, and there's so much you can see just driving. There's awesome overlooks after not driving very far, like around different bends, and pretty nice.
After each bend, we keep saying to ourselves, dang, look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And of course, the video doesn't do it justice at all.
And I will admit, there's certain sections of this road that are pretty harrowing. We are right on the edge.
Caution, dangerous snowfields ahead. For your safety, keep off steep slopes and away from edges. Tundra protection area.
Wow.
That's something else.
All you can say is wow.
Yeah, pretty much what Steve said earlier. Dang. I feel like breaking out into song of the hills are alive. So here's an example of all these overlooks and pull-offs, which make it pretty convenient to get some good scenery. We're out here checking out all the awesome scenery. We're in the mountains. Do you think the cat cares? Oh no, she doesn't. Kitty, there's some cool mountains out there. You don't care. Do ya? You don't care. I would say this is not a bad view at all from our little tiny home on wheels.
Keep walking.
That's cute. Hey. Oh yeah. Oh, I hope we see a marmot.
Wow.
I'll say. Pretty amazing, huh? What do you think of this view?
I've seen better. No, I haven't.
I definitely wasn't expecting it to be this cold today. I looked at the forecast for Estes Park, which is before we get into the mountains. Wasn't expecting it to be in the 30s. We don't have our winter stuff out yet.
If that's accurate, though, as long as the wind's not whipping, it doesn't feel too
Yeah,
bad.
and you're in the sun. There's another pull-off. That means I gotta go check it out. Bye. Yeah, I definitely feel like breaking out in song here. The hills are definitely alive. Just a little bit windy. Have Steve or I mentioned that it's absolutely incredible here? If not, it is. Whew, is it windy? Absolutely beautiful. Now this just feels surreal. Like we're on another planet. I think we're both definitely feeling the high altitude. We're not walking at a super fast pace. It's a little chilly, but I'm out of breath. It's so cool here. Like there's so many different ridges and seeing the clouds go over and the shadows from the clouds. It's awesome. And then back a little bit earlier, there were some pikas. We got some footage of them or some pictures. It'd be nice to see a marmot out here.
Whew. Yikes. Oh. All right. I'm not going to lie. It got a bit nippy there up at the top. I was underdressed, especially on my head. There's absolutely some surrealness to this.
Yeah,
It does not look real.
it's crazy.
Looks like a painting.
I'm sure there's no way you guys will be able to see. But there are elk right out there. So there's some bright fall color just in that little clump right there. We are on a hunt for elk. We actually found out that we're here during the rutting season. I guess that's the mating season, right? And they actually do like a bugle call, and they, what do you call it when their antlers hit together?
A meeting of the antlers.
What do you call that? Well, you know what I mean, when they like headbutt and stuff. So we were told by the ranger that there have been some elk sightings in this area. We're getting hungry, so we're gonna stop and make some lunch. We're hoping to see some elk, because that'd be really fun. All right. It's a hot soup and sandwich kind of day, because it's been pretty chilly out there.
All right, lunch is served. Hot ham and cheese and some soup. Looks like we have chicken pot pie soup.
Yum. Our camp stove works out pretty well for us, we think. We're going to take advantage of our little tabletop we have here. It's our secondary one. We actually have another one that goes on like a lagoon type mount, but this is just easier. It gives us a little extra space.
Look at that.
And while we have our lunch, Gray Gray's in her tiny home, just chilling out.
All right. Yummy, yummy. Now the real adventurous will take their sandwich, dip it in their soup.
Living life on the edge. We're going in search of some elk. You think we'll find any?
Yep.
I hope so. By the way, it's a lot warmer down here in the valley. I think Steve has found his happy place.
So this section of the Rockies has a much different feel. I think it's because of all the trees. Really kind of alters the landscape a little bit. Oh, now we see some elk over here.
So this here is the Colorado River. So there's all these people pulled off to the side, and we just assumed they saw elk, but guess what? It's a moose. Well, now we can officially check that off our list. We've seen a moose. So this is an area that burned a few years ago. It's quite something to see. And the landscape is quite a bit different than it was when we started out. Yeah, you can really see the evidence here. This is really a nice park for anyone. That's one of the benefits for sure. It's really nice that you can drive and see most everything. That if you want to, you can get out and take some longer walks or hikes, but really you can see so much from just driving along here. And it's beautiful. Every bend you go around is different, and it's gorgeous. Look, our kitty actually cares about the mountains finally. What are you doing? No, not very much though. So check this out. There's a bull elk, and I guess there was a little bit of a standoff earlier with another one.
Please stop.
Tell her to stop.
Stop. Hey, she said to stop.
Can't see him. Where'd he go?
He's
Okay, I see his horns or his antlers. Where's your vehicle?
Way down the road.
yeah.
Okay. If they need to get in,
Then get it back.
let them in. Have the car unlocked.
It is. Remove my coat.
Okay. Everybody in your vehicles on this one?
Ma'am, if we need to, can we get in your vehicle for safety?
What? Right, you two gentlemen, that way. If you need to, go on that hill, but keep a close eye on him. Don't go too close.
So this is pretty wild. The bull was on the move and got really close to. You can hear him. He got really close. Ooh. There's a bull behind us. So anyway, this is getting pretty intense.
So the ranger just wants to make sure that everybody's safe and that we're not in the crosshairs when they're getting at each other.
There was a brief moment there where I was ready to dart into somebody's car if need be.
Risk an axle, get the elk to yourself.
More and more elk everywhere. But we were fortunate before because we were so close to them. These guys are further out. But there's a lot of them here. I don't think anyone's here to see the elk at all. So we're making up a little dinner, and there's a bunch of elks outside the van. That's kind of fun. Thanks to Daryl and Joyce for the squash. Shaving time for Steve. That time of the week.
Gotta be clean shaven for dinner.
I think we hear coyotes now. So this is pretty wild. We're basically having dinner with a wildlife concert. Black beans and toppings. It was so awesome yesterday. So much to see, and then last night was really cool, hearing all those animals making different sounds, the elk and the coyotes and stuff. And then it wasn't too bad here last night.
Well, good morning, everybody.
What was that?
This is my wake-up face. Ain't I pretty? We found a spot just outside of town last night. A little pull-off section just off the road. I found it on iOverlander. Wasn't sure what to expect or how I felt about it, but when we pulled in, there was like 2 or 3 other people here, and then another one joined us shortly after we arrived. So all's well that ends well. We had a nice night of sleep, and now we're ready to start a new day.
This morning, I'm spending some time reading a little bit while Steve's making breakfast. I like my backup readers. I think it's the coldest it's been outside when we've been parked somewhere without having our electric heater plugged in. It's 37 degrees out right now, but it's 62 in here. Still feels a little chilly. My hands are a little cold, but overall it's not too bad. Now, here's a good breakfast in bed. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Neither of us have a phone signal this morning, which in some ways is nice because it means we are kind of just disconnected from the world and don't have to do any work and can just relax here a little bit this morning. When we started out, we chose to have 2 different phone plans so we had better coverage. Like if Steve's phone didn't have coverage, mine might, vice versa. But we also have budget phone plans. Steve has Pure Talk, which I think is about $45 a month, and I have Visible. And I think right now I'm paying $25 a month for that, and it's unlimited. And overall they do pretty well. They're on the Verizon and AT&T networks. So I don't think the fact that we have no signal has anything to do with the fact that they're the budget plans. I think it's just that we're in an area where there's not as much coverage. We haven't really noticed a difference in our data at all. Like when we do have a signal, we usually have pretty good coverage and speeds. So we've kind of just taken our time here this morning, and now we're going to head into Estes Park and go to the library first, but then check out the little town a little bit. Guys, I thought I would just check in real quick with you guys, especially for those of you who are interested in more of our day-to-day life in the van and not necessarily just our exciting travels. Right now we're parked a little ways away from the library here in Estes Park. We drove into town, looked around a little bit just from the van. I got a little bit of footage, as you saw, of us driving up and down because the library hadn't opened yet when we got here. Then we found out that you have to pay to park at the library. It's $2 an hour, which I think is way too much at a library. You guys might think we're cheap, and yes, we are. But my principals say I'm not going to pay to park at a library if I can help it. So we actually drove around, and not very far up the hill there was free parking. So that's where we are right now. Steve's in the library. I just came out to do a call for work. Sometimes I'm not sure how well we communicate some of the things that go on behind the scenes other than just little mentions here and there. I know I've mentioned that we've had computer problems. Basically, for several weeks now, for the most part, we've been functioning just with one computer, which has been a huge challenge. It's been kind of a comedy of errors, but not really funny, more stressful. Hopefully we'll get that straightened out soon. I know it probably seems like forever, and it has. It's been kind of crazy, but we're doing the best we can. And it's our busy season, so we're just kind of hanging in there and getting things done in between trying to sightsee, and we're just trying to balance it all. So that's what's been happening here. So right now I'm just having a quick little lunch with leftovers from last night. The black beans and some Mexican type toppings, cheese and cilantro, lime sauce, which is one of my favorites. And then I'll go in so Steve can come out and have lunch, because we don't want to leave the computer at the library. We don't want to pack it up and everything. So I'll head back in there to do some work, and he'll get a break out here. And then hopefully we'll get our work done and we have time to check things out more later and have some fun. But for now, it's work time. All right, so I'm going to head back in the library now. It's kind of incredible that during my walk to the library, our day-to-day life involves today having mountains in the background. What a view.
All right, well, as you can read, we have closed down yet another library. We're getting pretty good at that.
We are.
This has definitely been one of the best libraries we've been at. And a lot of unique perks to it. Quiet room, which was a great benefit. We've been at some very noisy libraries, and it's tough to kind of focus. And they have fireplaces and nice water fountain and
Friendly staff.
yeah, nice bathrooms.
So we
yeah.
were there for a long time. Now we're going to go check out town finally.
Let's go.
Definitely a cute little town. It's nice that there's a little river running through here, and it's amazing that as you walk around town you look up and there's just beautiful mountains all around, even like right nearby. Don't you think so? Well, look. Steve found another one of his favorite things, a bench. And by a river, so it's an extra bonus, huh? So check this out. The building is actually built around the rock. That's pretty cool.
There's a squirrel in my toilet.
Perfect. Item, cowboy. Hey everyone, tonight we're in Denver, Colorado, and we're trying something new.
Beef from a can.
It's something we've definitely never had before. Up until now, we've always pretty much shopped at Aldi because we like the prices, the low prices there, but we don't have Aldi out here in the West or Midwest, whatever this technically is. So today we went to Walmart, and we actually had quite a bit of fun looking at all the wider selection they have. And I don't think we've ever heard of this before. We have no idea if it's good or not, but we're going to try it.
Give it a shot.
And we're also going to have Annie's mac and cheese. Our other van life friends, Jamie and Lisa, raved about it. And then since then, some of our family members have raved about it. So tonight we're going to find out if it's worth all the hype. We'll let you know.
The time has come to find out what's in this can of beef. Not gonna lie, smells a little bit like cat food.
Does it? I don't smell it yet.
Oh, yummy.
So that's fat on top.
Yeah, kind of smells like beef.
It should. It is beef. It's supposed to be all natural beef. It'll be an interesting experiment. So we weren't sure what to expect with this meat. And we did try some other meat before with like a salad, lettuce, vegetable kind of topping. So I got some broccoli slaw to go on top of this, maybe in a wrap. And then I tried to figure out what kind of sauce might be good with it. So we got this more Asian yum yum type sauce. The meat is pretty salty. The meat is actually really good. It's very tender and very good. I'm going to try it with the sauce and see how it is. So a little bit of the meat, some of the broccoli slaw. I'm trying to be more adventurous with what I try. We'll see how it is. And then a little bit of this on top. Seems fine. So you gotta taste the mac and cheese and see if it's all it's cracked up to be.
Let's see what all the fuss is about.
Mind you, Steve likes the cheap boxes of mac and cheese just fine.
Yay!
There
It's fine. It's no better than the cheap stuff, in my opinion.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now usually Steve would mix his mac and cheese and beef together, but he has also opted to try the wrap version. You're right. How much was it at Walmart? Like 70 cents or less? And this was like over $1.
I believe.
I don't see a difference. But there are a couple other kinds. Annie's has a white cheddar mac and cheese. Maybe that's better. I don't know. It's fine. Also, this sauce, it kind of works, but it doesn't have tons of flavor. We also looked at a P.F. Chang's ginger sauce. I think next time I would try that. I think that would have a little more kick. But it's not bad. Fun little twist on what we usually eat. Something different tonight.
The beef out of the can, it's not too bad. Maybe a little bit on the pricey side, but then again, we're trying to gauge what is a good price for prepared meat. So this wasn't too bad. It works out to be like $5 a pound, which I know is a little bit on the higher side, but again, it was fully cooked. It just needed to be warmed up. So not too bad. Well, we really enjoyed our time in the mountains in Estes Park area. We stayed there a few days, stayed in the same overnight spot. It was a nice little pull-off. We were joined by several other campers and van lifers doing the same thing. Don't blame them. It's a really nice area.
Yeah, it really was spectacular, and it was neat how many different animals we saw and just how the view changed as we drove from like one little spot to another.
Yeah.
The highlight, I think, was definitely seeing the elk during their rutting season. That was a really unexpected surprise. In comparison to all that, it was amazing to be in that beautiful area, but when we were not sightseeing, we've been having quite the challenge. I would say it's actually yesterday was probably the worst day I've had since we've been doing full-time van life. It's been 2 months now that I've been limping along, not really having a working computer. We thought that was all solved, and then the computer kept turning off yesterday. So
The replacement to the replacement
yeah.
computer is now giving us some issues. So it's been a challenge.
Yeah, so anyway, it was quite the test yesterday. I'm glad that Steve is pretty even-keeled and solid. He helped me through it. And he was saying that in our last episode, how we kind of hit the reset with the van when we were with our friends Joyce and Daryl. We had, restocked our water and done laundry and kind of got all things taken care of then. I felt like yesterday I needed an emotional reset. So we just decided to leave Estes Park. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the library closed and we weren't getting work done. So we just decided to head out and just relax, not think about work. We spent some time in Boulder walking around there. That's a pretty cool downtown, and there happened to be a fall festival going on with music and all kinds of stuff. And then we got to Planet Fitness and took showers, and we haven't had showers in a while, so that felt really good. And we got some groceries, and I just kind of feel like a new person today. So all is well that ends well, I guess. Hopefully the computer problems will be solved soon. This is where we're going to leave you today. I guess we'll report back next time. We hope you guys will join us next time. As always, we appreciate you following along. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all those comments.
Yep, leave a comment below. Let us know you're watching.
Yep, we definitely appreciate it. So that's it. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Smells like cow when you fry cheese.